The key in 2025 is telling a story with a formula. Hooks, titles, and thumbnails. I'm sure you've heard that story before, right? Well, guess what? You can tell all the stories in the world with all the formulas that you've learned online, but this one thing is actually keeping you from connecting with viewers online and building the community that you've always dreamed of. And in this episode, I'm going to walk you through the 3-part framework that will allow you to tell better stories and also connect with viewers online. Welcome to Built to Tell. I'm your host, Mike Liguori, and thank you so much for joining me. For those of you who don't know me, I am an agency owner. I've been working in media since 2012. I have worked with some of the top companies in the world, all the way down to dental practice, small business owners, and even coaches looking to build their presence online through the world's largest podcasting platform, which is YouTube. Even though that I love YouTube, one of the things I love more than anything that gets me up in the morning is helping someone tell their story to an audience and creating that relationship. That's the thing that really fires me up. And I'm so excited today to share with you guys this framework that I'm going to be bringing to you that you can implement as of today and start recording better videos and start telling better stories. So let's get into it. Now, before we get into this 3-part framework, I want to stress that you must follow this first rule before you move into the 3-step framework. And it's called notice and focus. And the reason why it's called notice and focus is let's start with the notice part. Notice is all about you doing your research with people online, your favorite creators, your favorite podcasters, looking at the comments section, going on Reddit, doing your research to figure out what people really want to hear from you in your line of expertise. What questions are being asked online? How can you answer them? How can you be of service to them? Go ahead and consume as much content as you possibly can and be a note taker, be a student, be diligent in your research, because the more that you're able to look at what these creators are doing, what people are asking for online, the more you're going to be able to structure your content through this 3-part framework I'm going to share with you later in this video. Once you get done with your notice part, and I want to stress that there's no time frame on this. Take as much time as you need to do the research required for you to tell better stories online. You will then move into the focus part. And so the focus part is really just a precautionary warning to tell you that you don't want to get distracted, because one of the caveats to researching as much as you do during the notice part of the rule that I just gave you earlier is that you can get distracted. You can start consuming content. You can start comparing yourself. You can start freezing and not making any sort of content, or you can simply just be overwhelmed with anxiety, fear, and worry about what other people think about you. And I can tell you that I've been through this stage. It is something that had plagued me for most of my career when it came to me stepping out in front of the camera, because I was always so engulfed in what other people thought about me that I never really gave myself a chance to go do my research and to just focus on the thing that I wanted to share with other people. And that's where this focus part really comes in here, is take your field of expertise and pair it with your research and focus in on telling really powerful, amazing stories. Okay, so once you get done with the notice and focus point, you're going to move into the first part of this 3-part framework called point. Now, the point of this entire framework has to be stressed in the beginning part of your video. And here's the reason why. That beginning part is obviously going to be a hook, or it's going to be something incredibly powerful. And if you don't have something tied into that hook, you're going to lose people. That's where we've seen any sort of drop off with videos that we worked on for our clients, is that they don't really bridge the hook into the point of the entire video. Because listen, we're all on YouTube to learn something. We're all on YouTube to find something. Most importantly, we're all consuming content online because we're trying to figure out what the answer is to a question that we have. We're intrigued by a subject. You've probably heard of the curiosity gap and what that is and how you can bridge it. It's really important that you have a very strong point. Now, in this point, it could state a major problem that maybe that viewer is not aware of. So you could stress something like the economic climate that we're currently in right now is actually going to impact your ability to go buy groceries within the next 6 weeks. Here's why that's a problem. In that example, I'm actually painting a larger picture to the viewer and then telling the viewer specifically how that problem is going to impact them later. Most people, I theorize, are aware that they have problems, but unconscious of what that problem really is. And it's our job as educators and creators online to create some sort of connection. And it's our job to be able to share with these viewers exactly what the problem is and how we're going to help them navigate it. That should be the mission of your videos. So when you state this point, think of a problem. Think of how it applies to everybody. Think about how it applies to the viewer specifically, because you're trying to create that one-on-one conversation. This could be used with data, facts, and studies. This can be used with almost anything that proves that your problem is really a big deal and it's going to impact that individual viewer, because again, we're trying to get them to go from being unaware of the problem to being aware of how the problem is impacting them. Now, once you've established the point, you're going to go into the story, which is part 2 of our framework. Now, I love this part of the framework. And the reason why I love this part of the framework is because this gives you an opportunity for all you creators out there to go ahead and pull a personal anecdote, some sort of transformative story out of your experience and sharing it with people online. You could use client testimonials. You can use a story that you heard from a friend of yours down at the bar or at a coffee shop. You can even tell a story from history to support your story that you're about to tell. Now, in the story, you always want to relate it back to the problem, but only this time, you're not just re-emphasizing the problem. What you're actually doing is telling the problem in your story and then bridging the gap to a solution. And people love this because, one, stories is how we connect as human beings. And it's very important that you as a creator online, or if you're just starting out making videos, or you have an existing podcast and you just have started to notice that people right now are not listening to your podcast, or it's been kind of stagnant over the last couple years, this is a great way for you to truly improve how you can reach out and connect to these people online that are looking for your type of subject or content. So when you tell this story, one, make sure that you reemphasize the point and it's related to your story. And two, bridge the gap to a potential solution through that transformation that you're telling through that story. So then the viewer understands that there is a way out and there is hope for them, just like there was hope for that person or the hero within your story. So it's very important in the story part. Give yourself an opportunity to tell the story. Give yourself an opportunity to keep a good pace and cadence. And I'll talk about pace and cadence in a later video. But the most important part, take your time with the story and keep continuing to build intrigue, because once you do, the viewer will know that's a problem. And this is a great story showing the magnitude of that problem. And then you get to go into part 3 of our framework, which is teach. And for all you coaches and consultants out there, this is where you get your time to shine. This is where you get to show everybody exactly how you teach, what you love to teach about, and give them an opportunity to see your expertise and you being a master of your craft. And so in the teaching part, let's just make it really simple. So you reemphasize the story and then you go right into, so now that I've told you this story, here are 3 things that you can do right now to improve your health or reduce inflammation in the body. So that's just one example that I'm painting to you right now about how you can bridge the gap from the story into the teaching component. And this gives you an opportunity to show what you're made of and to also let the viewer know that you truly are trying to help them through your content. Because remember, it's all about building relationships with people online, because you want those people to come back and watch all your videos. You want all those people to come back and consume your content and follow you on other different platforms where you're showing a variety of your life, your business, and your work that you are so passionate about. So in the teaching part, you can do something as simple as, here are 3 things that I recommend. You can do something as, here's the one lesson that I would take away from this and how to implement this in your life or practice. Whatever the case may be, the teaching component is completely up to you. So to summarize, this 3-part framework called Point, Story, and Teach will really help you build better stories and allow for you to really convey your presence and message online. Because remember, it's all about building relationships. Formulas are great. Hooks are great, titles are great, and thumbnails are great. But if you don't have any depth to your story and you're not willing and able to put in the work to give people the information, the entertainment that they want, you're always going to lose people to someone else. So thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Built to Tell with Mike Liguori. If you like what you heard and if you like what you saw on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know exactly when the next episode will drop. And I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.